Now we have opened the patterns in the pattern envelope, and you will select the patterns required for your view of your choice. I have two patterns here, pattern piece number 12 and pattern piece number 13. They are the sleeve pattern of a jacket. You have the upper jacket and the upper sleeve jacket and the under sleeve jacket. So these two pieces are going to be joined together, and we talk about the symbols on them. So we want to start by talking on the symbols. The first symbol we'll talk about is the grain line. It's a straight line that tells you to lay your pattern parallel to the selvage of the fabric. It carries an arrow. This one is carrying one arrowhead. That is, you have to arrange all your patterns in the same direction. You can see this. That's for fabrics that have designs, especially in velvet fabrics that changes. The same grain line can carry two arrows, which means the pattern can be laid parallel to the selvage and you can flip it in any direction. So we will say the first one is a directional lay. You have to follow one direction. The next pattern symbol is the lengthening or shortening. For this sleeve, for example, you have this line showing at the lower arm and also the upper arm. In some patterns, it carries two solid lines. So if the pattern, the measurement you have on the upper arm to the elbow is too short, you cut here and then spread the pattern to lengthen the pattern. If it is shorter than this pattern, you will fold it to shorten it. So you can do the same thing here. This is how to shorten it. You shorten it like that. So that is the sign. So it can be a single line, but standard, most popular lines, it carries two solid lines. Then we have multi-size cutting line. You can see here we can produce three different sizes: small, medium, and large. In some patterns, all the three will carry the solid lines, but here it has been differentiated. So this is the cutting line for the large. The slash dash line is cutting line for the medium, and you can see a different dash this with shorter lines for the small. So this is a symbol. If seeing this here now without writing it down, it tells you that you can sew for three different people. Then we have our matching dots. See that matching dot? Matching dot for medium, for small, medium, and large. It means when we are about joining this, making a seam, joining this to this, the matching dot is equally on the underarm, and you pick this one depending on the size. It also varies, large, medium, and small. So I'll pick the large matching dot here, place it to be on this, and then I'm ready to sew. This takes us to this particular pattern has the same allowances inside. In the instruction sheet, it tells us what the same allowances is. But for this particular pattern, this is pattern of the bag. It shows us the same allowance. That's another symbol. Here, the first pattern I showed you does not carry the same allowance, but the instruction of the same allowance will be given. The same allowance is the distance from the cutting line to the stitching line. So
explain cutting line.
The cutting line is where you cut out, exact cutting line to cut your fabric. But the same allowance is the distance from the stitching line and the cutting line. So this is the stitching line, and the distance between them is the same allowance. Next, we have our notches. Where you have notches are V-shaped on the cutting line, usually you cut it, you follow the cutting line and cut it, or you come out. Usually if you cut it inside here, it shows that you have encroached into the same allowance. So for fabrics that are phrased, at that point you cut out to use it to match it. Where you have double notches, it means that is the back. This is the back. And where you have single notch is the front. So in some patterns, even in the back pattern, you have two notches together. It means this is the back of the back. You can see it was cut out so that we do not encroach into the same allowances. Next, we have the cut unfold sign. This is the cut unfold sign. It has two arrows pointing to a straight line. That is, this edge of the pattern is going to be placed on the fold. So you still have your straight part edge there, that is the grain line, bending to touch the fold line. So therefore, you're laying the pattern parallel to the selvage is still possible. There are times where the patterns need to be bias cut. You still use the straight grain line to lay it. We'll be seeing more of that here. That's an example of a diagonal line. You can see is a straight line. There's a direction. It means the pattern will be slanted, but the line will still be parallel to the selvage. The symbol is that of the buttonhole and button. The X mark there, the X mark shows the button position, and the horizontal line with a short bar at the end shows the length of the button. So you have the buttonhole symbol here, and the X is the button position. Other symbols that we have are zip placement, which is not on this pattern. It is also good to know that all the pattern symbols do not have to appear on each pattern. You only use them where appropriate.